Okay? If it goes more than 1 minute, we might cut you off.
What do you mean cut you off?
I mean, if it goes on and on and on too long, we might say, okay, time out. Okay, so, who'd like to go first? Do you have a volunteer?
I thought we were gonna go like that.
No, that's not, I just wrote it down. Okay, class, they're going to start to present their arguments. That means what? You need to do what? Listen.
Excuse me.
Okay? She is, she has an argument for the concept. Okay. Go ahead, Patty. Go ahead, Patty. So what is your argument? What's your thesis? Can you repeat your thesis for us? Just the thesis.
Because some countries receive more water than others, countries are competing for the right water. Global Commons is proposing to solve the problem by a World Water Parliament or some international governing body for managing the global commons of water.
Thank you. Diana Lopez, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, she's arguing for the pro side. Okay, pro side is what? Nationalization and privatization. Okay.
Okay. It may seem hard to believe that there are 1.1 billion people, or 80% of the world's population, who lack access to safe drinking water.
Maybe 30 seconds to a minute. Okay?
Each question?
Each question. Okay. I'm going to ask Patty. Patty Abad,
Go Patty!
what is a global commons and why? Yeah.
Global Commons is,
Do you understand that?
Global Commons, it could be anything we all share, like forests, parks, beaches, and all of that stuff, like anything. Like everybody could go and without paying, just go in, you know. But it could be good because we don't have to pay for it. And if it's privatized, and it, like for water, if it's privatized, you guys are gonna have to pay for it. Even if it's in a nation, whatever, you guys are gonna have to pay for it. And like, what about poor people? You know, they don't have money to buy all the water, and we want it to be like a global commons, like free, without having to pay.
What is a natural resource and who should own natural resource?
Natural resources are like what she said, like parks or oceans that nation has. Each nation has one. But some nations, unfortunately, some countries lack those kind of natural resources. Yeah, what's the natural resources? Lakes, oceans, rivers.
Why is this such a significant issue in terms of this global debate? Natural resources.
Natural resources, why is it
Such as a significant issue for this debate.
It's significant because some countries don't have natural resources. Some parts in Africa don't have black natural resources, and therefore that's why they don't have pure water or water at all.
So I understand you're arguing for the pro side, right? Pro side basically sort of ignores those countries without natural resources. Pretty much, right?
Pretty much.
Thank you. What is privatization? And why is this a good idea?
Actually, it's not a good idea.
It's not a good idea.
Yeah.
Are you arguing for pro or con?
Pro.
Okay, explain why that is.
Because it's
First explain what privatization means. No.
Can I pass on the question?
You want to pass the question? Okay. So can you repeat your thesis again, please?
Nations should keep controlling water within their borders.
Why?
Like those conflicts within other nations over water usage and how much it should take could cease.
Okay, your thesis should always state fact and so what. Okay? So work on the so what aspect. Okay. Repeat your thesis for us, please.
the point of the global commons is to set new regulations to keep countries from exploiting their natural resources, but these regulations are already in place. All that the global what?
Therefore, so what?
All that the global commons will do is revoke these regulations and leave our country at a state of vulnerability.
So what? So you are saying no to global commons,
Yeah.
but what is your position?
What? It's we should be
Therefore, what?
water should be nationalized.
Okay, that's what you're missing in the thesis. Work on that.
All right.
Thank you. Okay. Any question? Okay, Daniel, what is privatization and why is it a good idea?
Privatization is where
Tell the audience.
privatization is where private companies will be able to buy water and own it and distribute it to whoever they wanted to. But they will be able to raise a price on it if they were to see that it would be necessary to raise a price on it to better conserve it. But private companies are a good idea because they will be better able to distribute water to those who need it in other countries and to the people in this country at a better purifying rate, because in this capitalist market that we have right now, they need to produce the best product that there is out there right now if they want to make money. And with the money that they make from that, they can use to better fund national security, to better protect our water from terrorists or anybody that may seek to try to damage our country in that way.
So you're pro-side, right, Daniel?
Yeah.
Same question. So basically, you feel that privatization could be one of the solutions to
Yes.
the water crisis? Thank you.
Because each nation has the right to supply its own citizens with the water it has available to it.
Excellent thesis, thank you. Yeah. Are you arguing for the pro-side? Okay, do pro-side believe that water is a human right or human need? And can you elaborate on those two concepts? Let me repeat, okay? Does the pro-side believe that water is a human right or a human need? And can you elaborate on those two concepts? Your pass? Okay. What do you know about trade agreement? Free trade agreements.
Free trade agreement?
What is it?
There is specifically an agreement between two nations where they agree to share the fresh water resource. Without charging each other.
Can you elaborate as to how efficient they are? Or any examples that you know?
They're very efficient, such as the United States sharing the water with Canada, and there has not caused any problems with it. So they're doing pretty well right now with free trade treaties.
What about free trade agreements in other continents? Do you know? Like per se in African countries? Is it working out pretty well? Thank you. Thank you. That was a difficult question. Okay, next person, please.
This is why a global commons would be ineffective, because they have no way of raising revenues, fix infrastructure, or have the power to stop conflicts. Nationalization is much better than global commons.
Thank you. And repeat your thesis for us, please. I'm sorry, I missed it. Can you reiterate it for just a minute?
Nationalization is much better than global commons.
Why?
Because they can raise money for infrastructure and regulate just like conflicts.
Okay, so please include that why into your thesis. Incorporate that why section, why component to your thesis. Thank you.
That was good, man. That was good.
Next. John, you're arguing for the pro side.
Yeah.
What do you know about infrastructure in terms of water, getting water, okay? And why is this a problem?
All right. Infrastructure is the means to get water from one place to another, such as pipes, aqueducts, dams, and the means of regulating it, like filtering, treating, and pumping, and whatever. But that is at this current moment, even in private nations, those means are deteriorating because infrastructure is from 100 years ago or so, and they need funds to reproduce that, but we don't have that. And if it was a global commons, if they try to regulate that on the whole entire earth, there'll be no way.
So you see that as a problem? Thank you very much.
Global comments can protect your human rights.
Okay, can you repeat your thesis for us, please?
Water is a human right, but yet billions of poor people in the world today lack access to safe drinking water.
Okay, and you can sort of knock out the I believe. This is not a persuasive speech. So we do not want to say I believe this, I believe that. Just make a strong statement. That's it. Okay, thank you. Okay, Jackie, you're arguing for the con side. Jose?
Yeah.
Cruz?
Yeah.
1 point off for your grade. Jackie, you're arguing for the con side?
Yes.
So for the con side, is water a human right or is it a human need? And
Water-
can you elaborate on those two concepts?
Water is a human right because nobody should own water.
Explain to your audience.
Water is a human right because no one owns water. Water is for everybody and we should be shared equally. And with the concept, water is a human need. It is a human need, but yet most nations is consider water as theirs, and it's not theirs. It's everybody's, even though they have the water in their countries. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Repeat your thesis for us, please.
Global Commons can ensure that all nations have equal water because it is a non-profitable organization and it will properly distribute water for humanitarian motivation, not for monetary motivation.
Thank you. Okay, Hugo, what is national sovereignty and why is it significant in terms of this UN global debate?
National sovereignty is more like a nation owns its own water and it distributes it equally among its citizens. And well, as most of us are pretty much we know, some nations have failed to do so, as in Africa. We all know they have limited water supply, and they have distributed most of its water to people who they can, instead of finding a way to send some part of that limited water supply to more of the poor people.
So you're arguing for the concept. So does the concept deem national sovereignty as a problem or a solution?
Neither a problem or a solution, more as an option. But it's not really, it's something you could do, but you can't really say it will solve the problem because other problems could come along with it.
Interesting. I appreciate your response. Thank you.
Ms. Chen? Go first.
Okay. One person from the pro side must make a rebuttal statement against all the three statements made by the pro side.
Rebuttal
Con side.
Rebuttal is the second one then.
I know, so we're skipping the first one.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Remember all the con side made their opening statements, right? We're going to pretend that you listened to all of it and you're going to, the rebuttal, you're going to come out and tell us what's wrong with that. Okay, so who's going to go? Who's going to represent? All right, Daniel. Okay, while he's rebutting, no one is supposed to interrupt him, okay? Let him make his case.
And global comments will not be efficient to do something about helping the people in Africa, but at the same time we need to do something about helping the people in Africa. But at the same time, we cannot risk our nation's well-being. There is a way to help the people in Africa, but that need water. But a global commons is not the way.
Thank you. Okay, now from the con side, your rebuttal speech.
Well, global comments is the best way because, as you know, we could share water equally instead of buying water. And I mean, you guys want water, like, just go and get it without having to pay for it. And it's cool because what about poor people? They don't have any money to go buy water. And they're like, people, could I have some money? Could I have some water? You know? It's like, I'm sorry.
Now we're going to have crossfire.
You're running out of DVD. You're running out of DVD.
So, pro side, let's start the crossfire with your first question. to the concept.
As my opponent said earlier, she says, she expresses the view that local commons people would like water to be free and you can just go get it and everybody shares from the same bowl of water, so to speak. But what she fails to realize is that water is not funded or paid for, and there will be no means of funding the infrastructure. If there's no infrastructure to transport the water, there'll be no water to get it. And you will have to probably drive or walk countless miles to go get water for your everyday life. So that's what I have to say.
Yeah.
That's my question.
In other words?
In other words, that's ineffective what you guys plan to say, because there's no way it can be done if you have no money to fund it. For infrastructure.
Go ask nations about like.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you're gonna go beg to nations?
No, we're
It's like a hobo on the street, they're always.
Okay, audience, you need to keep it down.
They're not always gonna get their money they're asking for.
We're not gonna beg.
There's only
Just
four.
like countries that are Democrat will be willing to give us
That's
money
right.
and will be willing to support us if they are of human rights.
Do you know how many Democratic
Excuse me,
nations are on the
excuse me.
world?
I cannot have this noise from the audience.
You say that we didn't do anything with Bush. Okay, I agree with that. But yet you guys did something and yet you guys didn't get nothing out of it. We're still at war. So what did you guys do? Nothing. Nothing.
What you mean, you guys? Nations?
Nations, you guys,
We're the
yeah.
ones at war.
Exactly, and you're losing money by funding the war. You're giving money to the war by sending water. Are you even trying to do anything for all the 8 little kids that die every 8 seconds? Are you guys doing anything for Africa? They die every 8 seconds. And one kid die every 8 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oops, there we go.
Okay, now you're fired up about the attacks you got from your opponents. Now, are you guys listening? Okay, my pros and cons side. Think of a closing statement, okay? And pick someone that who has not spoken yet.
Hugo y la girl de allá.
Okay, and I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Pass this around and pass this around. Make sure you go for the both sides. Silence. Silence. What did I just say?
Violence.
Thank you. Okay, make your closing argument.
So a solution for what I denied earlier is world nations should come to a unilateral agreement where they agree to a certain percentage of water to those third world countries that are lacking water. This is not a global mandate, but possible a solution for the water crisis, and it's ethical and moral to keep the human race.
Thank you. And the concept make your closing argument.
It has been said that a global commons.
Hold up. Silence. Okay, now.
It has been said that a global commons may not work in this point in time, but if we are not currently in a time in which a global commons may work, when would it be an accurate time for a global commons? When more people have died because of this mismanagement of water, it is a perfect time for a global commons to come into play before it's too late and the management of water goes out of control.
Thank you.
Oh, and why are you trying to take back the
This
Why are you trying to take it back?
You can go back to your seats. And we'll let you know of our decision.
Yeah, then why are you trying to take it back?